No.
And hello, everybody. We are live with our last crowdcast from our crowdfunding campaign for the In MOCEAN Recycling Fleet. Today, we have with us 4 of the In MOCEAN Fleet members. We have the Cruising Kiwis that are having some issues with their microphones still, I think. And we have Odd Life Crafting. And we have Sail Joanna, probably pointing in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And White Spot Pirates. And there's 4 more fleet members, which is Sailing Delos, Sailing Uma, Sailing Ram, and and Sailing Catalpa, who unfortunately can't join us today because they're without internet or out on the ocean, which sometimes happens with sailors. And we just wanted to connect with everyone and give out a personal, very big thank you for supporting our crowdfunding campaign to outfit 8 sailboats with mobile recycling machines to recycle ocean plastic or ocean-bound plastic. And yeah, maybe we're going to start with Roberta and Duca for giving us a little heads up where they're at and what they're doing at the moment.
Right now we are in Brazil. We are in an island called Ilha Bela. Are you? Can you hear us? It's like the microphone is weird.
Yeah, I think it's you guys reverbing.
Yeah, something is happening with the. Is there like a second device or something that is on?
No.
Oh.
Good, no? Good.
Okay, so I think Rob, I'm gonna throw you out for a second again. I think it might be you guys, unfortunately. So I'll disconnect you and I'll re-invite you back on stage and then see if we can. And then in the meantime, Duca can tell the little story.
Yeah, we are.
No, I think it's.
No?
Our problem.
I think
Is it
it's
me? I don't. Maybe it's me. I'm gonna switch my.
No, it's not you.
So let's see.
Oh,
It's our problem.
Yeah, I think it's you because I just switched off my microphone and it was still going on. So
it went off when I did. Yeah. Now it's
sorry everyone for the confusion.
I'll try to leave it for now.
So I'm gonna throw Odd off screen for a minute, and then Maria can start by telling us what she's up to at the moment. And maybe you guys can put some earphones on or something.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so Maria, the stage is yours.
Okay. Hey, all right. We're kind of here back normally. I'm at the moment I'm in San Diego, and I'm on the research ship that I work on. And we actually happen to be in port early morning, and it's not sunny tropical San Diego as you would hope. It's freezing cold at the moment. But I can eventually later on I'll give you a little run around. You can see I'm sitting up in the bridge at the moment, hiding away. Oh, there we go. We slowly getting some fixing of our electronic devices.
That looks cool. You're fixing them?
Yeah, we're prepping to head out to we're going to off the coast of Galapagos in the next day. A few here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's are you allowed to talk about what your science mission is on the way to Galapagos? Or is that top secret?
This trip we're doing seismic. So we're going down and we're putting a bunch of things that look like little minions, robots to the bottom of the ocean. And then we have a little ROV which drives in the bottom, and he just scoots around. He does a bunch of surveys. And then we kind of put these little pods down that then talk to each other electromagnetically, and then we take in all the information. And we're sort of doing that, I think, around just below the equator and then back up again. So nothing too over-the-top secret mission yet.
But you're going to be out at sea for quite a while, right?
Yeah, we'll be out at sea for about 60 days. Sort of doing the survey and then doing all of and we'll do a couple different missions. I think we have, looking at the equipment, we have it's going to be mostly doing a lot of seismic towing. So they've been getting a lot of activity down there. So they've been, about last year, they put a bunch of instruments down. So we got to go down and receive them. So we'll pick them up. And I think there's about 40 or 50 of them when we take off the bottom, and then we put new ones down. Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah.
How big is the boat that you can fit all of this equipment?
she's it's about 300, so it's enough
Wow.
room around on the back deck. But you
And
can
what's
check
the
it
name
out.
of the research vessel?
What's that?
What's the name of the research vessel?
It's Thomas G. Thompson. It's called. It's run by the University of Washington, and she works for the government,
Okay,
NSF.
cool. And
So
how much-
it's National Science Foundation. So we get quite a few different jobs everywhere to do.
And
sort of
then
hiding up here so I
on
don't
your
wake
last
everybody
run,
up.
before you got to yeah, that's good. On the last run on your way to San Diego, I think you were doing some sort of plastic related research as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the last trip we had done was with the students, the senior graduates. So they were, a few of them were doing the research on plastics, which was great. So we did quite a few different tows, and we were just south of the Great Garbage Patch. We didn't get right in the center, but we did south, and then we did a bunch of trawls, and they were collecting a bunch of microplastic, and then also seeing about certain things and what eats it and sort of what reacts to it. So they were doing quite a few different things, each one doing it for their thesis. So it was interesting to talk with the students, and hopefully I'll write a little blog about that. We have a few pictures, and they were super psyched. We gave them a talk about within motion, and they were super great. They thought it was a fantastic idea. So we've got quite a few new followers from the students.
Awesome. Yeah, it's good to plant the seed with the younger generation, so they spread
Definitely.
the word and keep
Yeah,
pushing.
they all having interest. Most of them unfortunately had to do most of their schooling over Zoom. So this was the first time they were actually able to get hands-on on a research ship. Because unfortunately, this last 2 years, it's been really difficult for the university to do any hands-on work. So they were super stoked about being out
now
there. A little seasick at first, but unfortunately.
I bet. And we should get some recycling machines onto that boat, I think. That would be
Yeah.
a cool thing. Next
Slowly
time you go
working on
work, you
that.
come with a little recycling machine in your luggage.
Exactly. That's we're slowly
be
hoping
sweet.
that we can be part of a couple of our equipment that we'll use in order so we don't have to stock up our garbage container with all our plastic use. We can at least collect in the ocean as well as use our own, and possibly try out that 3D
that'd be
printer on
really
board.
cool. Well, that and you had the cool idea of making zip ties, and you told me in the past that the science people are using a lot of zip ties on the equipment. So that'd be really cool if they could recycle the zip ties back
Exactly.
into zip ties when they
It'd be fantastic if we could. We do unfortunately use quite a few just due to that they don't send a lot of energy through the equipment. So there's a lot of zip ties in oceanography. Hopefully we could get rid of the process and use, if anything, recycle it. It'd be great.
recycle them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's your position on the boat? Like, what's the task that you're doing?
I am called an AB. So basically we work on the deck alongside the mates and the captains, whoever come down. And we run the equipment. So we'll run the cranes. We'll basically lower anything in and out that has to do with the science equipment. And we work alongside the chief scientist, whoever comes on deck so everybody sort of has to work hand in hand in order to get the gear. So a lot of the times we sort of understand the ship and the ocean. So we make sure all the equipment gets in safely and nobody gets hurt. And they do the scientific part.
Responsible job. And then I think you're going to be off end of March or something, because you have to join for our next building up our next recycling workspace. Hopefully,
I know.
in
I'm
Nicaragua.
so close to Joanna right now. It's kind of sad. I feel like I could just scooch on down and say hi, but she's patiently waiting for me in yard.
So for those who don't know who Joanna is, maybe you have to mention that she's your sailboat.
Joanna's my other half, which is my sailboat. She's at the moment in Chiapas, Mexico. I have her up on the hard just so I don't have to worry about her so much when I'm at sea here. So she hasn't been out in 4 years, so I have to come back to a couple, I think, teardrops of steel, weeping away. But I'll make sure it should take me about 3 months or so. Hopefully we'll get her suited up. We'll see. But as you guys all know, the boat projects.
Yeah, maybe we should shout out to get you some volunteers to come and help you rust bust a little bit.
Yeah, I'll give you a chipping hammer. Totally.
All right. Sounds like you're on an awesome journey there. Thanks for sharing some insights about that. So yeah, Roberta and Duca, now maybe you can tell us a little bit about where you're at and what you're doing.
Try.
Is it working now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
good.
working better. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are back on the boat. This past 2 months, we've been traveling a lot. We went to the US twice for some jobs and for a boat show, and now we are putting the boat back in order so we can travel the Brazilian coast this year. The idea is to explore our backyard this year. Luckily, our backyard is huge. The Brazilian coast is so long. There's so many rivers and offshore passages, like every kind of
But we
situation.
still have some things to do on the boat. So
Yeah, always.
We are going slowly.
Yeah, boat work never finish. So this boat was
Yeah.
sitting on the hard for way
Very
too long,
true.
and so we have still a lot of challenge to overcome. The last one was we broke our quadrant on the way to the island where we are. So right now we're sitting on the same spot because we are waiting to make a new quadrant. But
You're waiting to make a new
like
one?
rudder quadrant.
Yes, quadrant.
Yes.
Oh wow, that sounds
Yeah, we broke
serious.
on the way in.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's still working. It's like half broke, but it can fall apart anytime. So that means we cannot really move. Like, I mean,
Wow.
we did on New Year's. We have an emergency killer in place in case it breaks for real, but
Yeah.
it's good. I mean, I was just a short trip. So yeah, I feel challenge overcome.
Sounds like the usual sailing
Yeah,
fun.
I mean that's part of living on a boat. You know, fixing the boat every day. And
The usual boat goods.
And for those that don't know you from your videos, your boat, you've been on your boat for 2.5 years,
Yeah.
I think you said it, but it's an old
Yeah.
salvage boat, right? You fixed it up from
Yeah, actually,
from a very
it
bad.
wasn't really a salvage boat. There was an owner paying marina, but the boat was sitting on the dry without being touched for like 22 years. So this crazy guy, yeah. So the
22
guy
years.
and
That
his
is-
wife, they lived on the boat for 8 months. They came back to the yard, put on the dry, and never touched again for 22 years.
And they live in the same island as we are right now.
Yeah, yeah. They actually live here. Yeah.
Oh,
We didn't, but it's a big island. It's not as
so you. Yeah.
we didn't see him yet.
Okay.
But I mean, like the boat was like structure-wise really well. Like the hull was really good because it's a steel boat, but was hot galvanized, was metallized with zinc
Oh wow.
30 years ago. So when they metallized, the company that did the metallization gave a warranty of 20 years, and it's a really really well-known company
Wow.
that did, and there was almost no rust, but all the systems were bad. Like
Maria, that's something for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, literally, from the deck down, we had no fixing on no rust at all. Not even 1 point of rust. Like
Oh, that's fantastic.
only little spots on the deck, like
That's really good.
really really tiny spots. But
That's amazing.
other than that, we replaced all the rigging. We replaced the mast, standing rigging, running rigging. We
Water
replaced the
system.
engine, waters, like all the plumbing system, like all we made new, like electronics. So it's like a big refit, and we're slow. I mean, like could be done in like 10 months. We did in 2 years. But I mean, like you
But there was
Nick,
the pandemic.
you know how it goes, Nick. It's just like you learn as you go. You don't really know what you're doing, and then you just keep trying and trying, and that's it. You,
Very true. And you're filming the whole process too, which takes a little bit of time and effort
Yeah.
as well, which slows things
so
down.
you know, like we work
considerably.
7 days a week on the boat, not on just on the boat, on the boat and the YouTube channel. So basically, sometimes we take like 2 days off the boat just to edit, and then we go back to the boat, and then you know, we just keep going back and forth.
And now you're adding some recycling to your busy schedule.
It's gonna be fun.
And maybe since we're talking about the recycling now, so the money that we were able to raise with the campaign was not, well, we had shot for a goal of 48,000 euros to outfit the eight boats with the recycling machines, and we nearly made it. We got like 92.5% of this of our funding goal, which is really an awesome result. Thank you so much for everyone for supporting our mission. But because we didn't quite reach it, we sort of had to move a couple of things around, because we definitely wanted to make sure that these 8 boats that you're supporting with your donations are able to set out and do recycling on their sailboats, and to create awareness about the potential of small-scale plastic recycling in remote coastal areas. So Duca and Roberta, since they are in Brazil right now, there is a little speciality that in Brazil there's 100% import tax on anything that comes into the country. So for the bigger, more expensive machines, we would have even had to have more money to send the machines to Brazil. So now we came up with the idea of giving Duca and Roberta a different setup, because now they're gonna, I have to put Maria quickly back on the screen because she left somehow. So Duca and Roberta are gonna get a pet bot, which is a little recycling machine that turns PET bottles into 3D printer filament, and then they're gonna have a 3D printer, which they will be able to print out anything that they want, basically. So have you been thinking about, because this is quite new news to you, have you been thinking already about what you might need for the boat that you can create with the 3D printer? Oh, your microphone is out.
We can have like different products. We don't need to have one mode. We can do like all sorts of things. Like we can make both things, but at the same time we can make like gifts for our patrons. So I think,
choose what they want,
and they can even choose. Like that's gonna be really cool. I mean, like I really like the idea of the mode for the zip tie. That would be really cool. But I don't think we can print a zip tie. I'm not sure. We can try.
I probably.
Or we can make like.
It will take a long time to make 100.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like we can make like even like accessories for camera support, like for GoPro and for things like that. That would be really cool.
Nice, yeah.
Because nowadays,
true, filming stuff.
Even though we have a bigger camera, I would say like 95% of what we film every day is with a GoPro. It's a really light camera, really easy to create new supports, and that would be really cool, I think.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about the whole filming photography section that we can make products for.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like if we make one
and
thing
Roberta,
that
you're.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, keep going.
I mean, like if we do one product that helps us to film, it's already like a huge thing, because we film every day, and making our lives easier to film. That means we have an easier life, and we have better.
To do other
and better image also. Better video for everyone, so it'd be really cool.
Very true. And Roberta, you're an environmental engineer, I think, right? And then are you able to do CAD drawings, like I suppose, like because the 3D printer needs the CAD drawings to be able to print whatever it's printing?
I need to learn. Never tried.
There's another challenge.
Anyone can do anything if they are really willing to try.
Very true. There is some online platforms where you can download a lot of things for free. Like I've seen. What I've also seen, which is kind of cool, is you can make like buckles and stuff. So you can do like if you do a sail cover and you want to do like a plastic buckle or something, or for a backpack if something breaks, you can do those with the 3D printer.
Oh, there is a little.
So that's kind of cool. Like if you wanted to do. Yeah, like this little if you made like if you had an old sail and you would upcycle the old sail, then you could make little buckles with the 3D printer, and then your whole product.
We just lost one from our
recycled
main sail bag. We can make this one. Yeah.
I didn't know.
That'd be good. Yeah, I mean, like anyone can learn how to do anything if they're really willing to try. Like if they really want to try, they can just learn anything. And it's always nice to try new things and to learn new.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I think it's always nice to learn new things and study new things, and probably like design 3D products. It's something that I've always been curious about, to be honest. So I think it's gonna be a really cool thing to experiment.
Very cool. we're looking very much forward to see what you're gonna do with it. So we're gonna order the machine pretty soon. So we just got to talk about where you want to have it shipped to, and then off it can go, because we still have some money from the PayPal donations available, and that will be able to cover the 3D printer and also the pet bot. So you'll probably be one of the first people to receive machines, because the bigger amount of the money is still within the Indiegogo account. It takes them usually up to 3 weeks until it gets transferred into our bank account. And once we have the money, then we can do the deposit for starting the production of the other recycling machines, which is the shredder and the extruder. And once we've put down the deposit to order them, they'll probably take up to 4 to 6 weeks. It depends a little bit on the supply side of the materials. And then we'll be able to ship them out. So they'll probably get to people. Well, I guess Rachel and Rob are going to get them slightly earlier, because you're the closest to Melbourne at the moment, I would assume. So maybe you can even go there and pick them up, huh? No, that'd be a little far.
I think it is a bit too far from where we are.
No, it is. So where are you guys at the moment, and what are you up to?
Right at the moment, we are. It's 10:30 here now. We're sitting in a little bay called Parakeet Bay in Rottnest Island, which is about 12 miles off the coast of Perth, Fremantle, which is in Western Australia.
I've been there. Oh, that's so cool.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been there once with a friend. A friend of mine lives in Perth, and I went down to that island and cycled around it with a bicycle.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah.
So you would have seen the quokkas, the little miniature kangaroos.
Yeah. Yes.
Like
Yeah. Super cute.
They're very
Oh,
cute.
Maria has a sunset. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the signal. Sorry. I'm like, what? My phone. Yeah, it's a sunset. You can see the schooner going by.
So,
Nice.
yeah, it's really
Sunrise,
pretty.
rather.
So what have you guys been up
Nice.
to over New Year's and Christmas?
Well, at Christmas time, I suggested Rachel do a Christmas episode. So she spent the lead up to Christmas working flat out at the last minute doing a little recap of the year. And that was
Lovely.
Rachel's lead up to Christmas. And then we spent the week here, actually.
Yeah, we were here at the island.
And there were like thousands of boats. The entire Perth boating community came out here. And we were anchored in amongst about, it must be hundreds of boats in one bay.
Wow.
And but it was fun. It was really nice, actually, and beautiful
Very
weather.
hot. It was 40 degrees.
Whoa.
And
Well, on land it was 43 degrees.
Yeah.
It was about 35.
This is
Definitely not a cold Christmas.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not a Christmassy
Yeah.
Christmas. Not
We had
cold.
snow for Christmas.
Yeah, well, that's how it should be, shouldn't it?
It does make it
when
feel
I
a lot
say 30,
Christmas.
40
I
degrees,
prefer it
that's
that way, but-
100
Oh.
108.
It's Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so we've been here now a couple of days. We're going back to Fremantle.
We've been doing some
tomorrow.
boat jobs. Rob
Boat
changed the
work.
seacocks.
Yeah, we changed the seacocks. And this is quite a big job because in theory you're supposed to haul the boat out to replace the seacocks. And if anyone doesn't know what
sometimes.
seacocks are, they are they're basically where the water comes into the engine from the leg that sits under the boat with the propeller. And it's the first part where water could potentially start filling the boat up when you don't want it to. And our seacocks had actually seized up, so we couldn't close them if there was an emergency. But we managed to replace them
Oh.
by kind of putting a plastic bag over our propeller, quickly removing the old seacock, and water would pour out, stick a
great.
finger in, and then put the new seacock in, wind it up, and it actually worked out okay.
Yeah. We're
Genius.
Still floating.
Yeah, so we had to do that 2 times.
Awesome. That's
We-
great.
We used to put a
Yeah, there's some of
plunger
those
on
projects that are a bit
through-hole so you
scary
could
to
change
do
it.
them on the water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
yeah. And it's a funny thing too.
That's
we've
really
had
awesome.
We've had another quite a big decision whether our batteries are sort of on the way out, and we were trying to decide whether we go to lithium or just stay with our lead acid 6-volt or 12-volt system using 6-volt batteries. And after a lot of discussion with people, we decided to stay with what we have, and we replaced all those as well. But it's an energy thing that,
Okay.
new technologies coming out. We like to think that maybe if we do it again, we'll have some better, more efficient and eco type systems to use if we do it again.
Cool, yeah. So you will have enough juice for running the recycling machines. So they're like 1.2 kilowatt, I think, for the extruder that we're talking about.
Yep. Well, we've got a 2 kilowatt inverter, so that shouldn't be a problem as long as we can produce the energy, good sunshine. And I don't think it's a problem actually. Just yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think Roberta and Duca have 2 kilowatt too as well, right?
Is that? Didn't quite catch that.
No, maybe.
Microphone working
So
now?
might be me. I think
We do have actually a 3 kilowatt inverter,
Oh, 3.
but we dialed down to 2
Nice.
kilowatts because we need to replace the wires for thicker wires. So as we did all the wiring, I'm like,
Not again.
just not again now. Just dial down, use 2
Very,
2 kilowatts, and then in the future we replace the wire and dial to 3 kilowatts.
very, very understandable. Very understandable. Yeah, I've got 2 kilowatt as well. Joanna has massive 6 kilowatt, I think, right? Is your
Yeah,
is
6
your,
kilowatt.
generator?
We'll see how happy it is when I get back, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll see about that. And then there's the shredder that we're also going to use. So there's either the possibility of getting a manual shredder that will be able to shredder like 1 to 2 kilograms of plastic an hour, which is a good workout, and it weighs about 8.5 kilos. And then the other option is to get an electrical shredder, but a very small, compact one that Precious Plastic Melbourne is currently working on. And they've already given us some sneak peek about the specs. They're not totally final yet, but it's going to be very compact, very small, not bigger than the other. Like the extruder is around 30 times 30 times 30 centimeters, more or less. And the shredder is going to be similar measurements. I'm not sure how particular I'm allowed to talk about the specs online, so I'm going to keep it vague. And it's going to be around 10 kilos as well, I think, and it will use less energy than the extruder even. So we don't have any numbers yet how much plastic it can recycle an hour, but more than the manual version. So yeah, probably. I guess we'll probably all go for the electrical one, so we don't have to. But it's up to you. If you want to get your youngsters to get some good workout, then maybe you want to get the manual version. It's fun for kids as well. And
so how about the PET that will make the filament for the 3D printer? How much energy does it use?
Oh, very little, very little. I don't have the numbers right now, but I'm not sure. Our friend in the last talk, he had mentioned how much it was using, but I forgot. But I think it was around maybe 100 watts or something. But I think it was very little, because it's really just what it does is there's little motors that are spinning the wheel for making turning the filament around the little wheel, and there is a tiny little heat plate where you cut the bottle in little strips, and then the strip goes into this tiny little heating mechanism where then the filament comes out, so it heats up the PET. So that can take a lot. Like, it's a 12-volt system, and it's really low energy.
I think it's
so
really
just
just for the motor.
And how big is the machine?
I think that big.
It's about yay big.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Now you know.
I'm not sure if you can. I'll send you the specs later on, which will be a little bit more. I don't have them right now here, but yeah, I'll send them to you. So I don't know how it's going to be shipped, because the thing is, I don't know if you've seen it in the last talk. So it's sort of like a base like this, where all the electronics are in the bottom box, which is like a square, a rectangular base, and then on top of the base you have the little wheel which I suppose for transporting or storage, you can probably dismount and then put it into a box and then store it somewhere. So we have a question coming in. Are those machines purposefully designed for In Motion, or are they are they off the shelves ones? So the extruder had been developed by Precious Plastic Melbourne before we even contacted them, because their idea was to they have bigger machines that are more energy hungry and heavier, but they wanted to, and also more expensive, but they wanted to create a machine that is more suitable for working with schools, for example, where you don't need a massive output, but it's more like for visualizing the process, for creating awareness, and for making little products. So they were looking at downsizing their machines anyways, and they came up with this hand cranked benchtop extruder, which is fitting our purpose perfectly, because we wanted something lighter, something less energy hungry and more portable. And what they're doing for us, particularly as sailors, which is really great, usually the machine comes in steel, but for us they're making them in aluminum, which makes them even a little bit lighter, and also better for not rusting away on us. So that's something that we particularly asked for as In Motion, and they said it's no problem to swap that out. And with the shredder, it's the same thing. They're downsizing their shredder anyways, but we were having talking about saying like, oh, could you do this or that? So they're trying to integrate us into the process and keep us updated. So we hope that it's going to match our dream idea of the shredder that we want. So yeah.
Cool.
What else did we want to talk about? Rob and Rachel, have you thought of any products yet that you might want to do with the machine? Because one thing that is going to be one of the next steps that we're going to work on is defining what kind of molds people are going to get. We got a sponsorship from a company that is going to donate the molds to us, which is really awesome because it's saving a lot of money on our side. And they're willing to give us 3 molds per boat. So it's obviously easier to create, like if we have 8 boats or 7 boats, because I'm not with those machines anymore. But so it's easier to create 7 times the same product, and then change the branding, for example, if you want to have your URL on it or something. But they're open to whatever we choose to do. But yeah, maybe you already had some ideas of what you might want to be doing with your plastic.
Yeah. She just nudged me and said I should answer that question.
Well, I was thinking the zip ties they sound really good. They're a great idea. Yeah. But look, keeping it simple and something that can be a gift as much as anyone may want to buy. Coasters. In fact, we have some here. Duca. No, we don't. Oh, I don't know where they are. Don't you?
I'm just going to show them because they're made in Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
We have some here made in Brazil.
Yeah, but I don't know where they are.
And we have a friend, Gabby.
Yeah, they're nice for branding as well.
Yeah, sure. That's right. They could be branding, but we were given these beautiful, they were leather actually, ones from friends on the East Coast. And Gabriella's from Brazil, and she loves her. And we love them. And it made us think that it's a simple thing that could be replicated many times and great
and
gifts.
Reused many times as well.
Yeah, that's very true. And it's nice. One side you could have In Motion, and the other side the Cruising Kiwis.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about branding.
Good idea. Yeah.
Perfect.
No, that's very good, and there are lots of ideas for coasters out there. The Precious Plastic community is doing quite a bit of coasters, so we'll be able to take a look at those and see which ones we like. Maybe the only thing we found, I've seen some of those coasters as well, and looked at one that was made in Curaçao. They're not very good for boats because they're very slippery. So you'd have to put them on some non-slip mat, because if you put them on wood or something, they're very smooth. So that just keeps sliding with your drink around, which might not be very safe. But it's a nice idea, yeah. Zip ties and coasters. I think that's we're going into a good direction.
You could put a little cork bottom on them.
Sweet.
And we talked about it last time we were on the live, but I think the idea of the end of the handle for a paddle, a walk around a paddle.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Yes.
Just little things like that, I think, quite
the hand part.
Replicated.
I was thinking too, those keys for the outboards, the little plastic key that goes on the Yamaha outboards.
Oh yeah.
Do something like that. Somebody can always use.
Because you always lose them.
You always lose them. Well, they usually have, maybe. But it would be good.
Not you. In general, people use them. I don't have one, so I can't.
I don't think I have one.
Yeah,
I think I have some kind of stick job.
We were thinking. Yeah, you don't have any safety on that outboard. I think you'll just keep going and going when you're off the boat. Not that it's happened. No. We thought that even maybe you could do the spring with wrapping the plastic around like some bamboo or like a metal stick, and then even make the little springy part of that outboard thing.
Yeah, right. You kind of just walk through a chandlery, and you can look at all the things they have there. There's literally dozens and dozens of things we could make, even from just basic, plastic washers.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Often used for lots of different purposes. Through the
plastic washers is actually a great thing. That's now that you're saying that, because since my boat is aluminum, I always need plastic washers to insulate my my stainless bolts from the hull. So that's plastic washers. I'm gonna look into that. And you can also either use them as washers or as earrings at the same time.
I don't think I'll be wearing washers in my ears anytime soon.
Well, I might. So that's some great ideas. I'll send out one of my lengthy emails to all of you fleet members soon, and then we can discuss a little bit more about the molds. And what we have to do is make one and then do a trial run and see if everything works out. Precious Plastic Melbourne was so kind of they were going to give us a little feedback on what they think can work and what doesn't, because they already have experience with the machine. So we don't produce something that in the end won't be working, because the problem with the hand cranked extruder is that you can't go too big, because the plastic will cool down before it reaches the end of the mold. So if you do something, you can do a little comb as well, but then you know how the comb has the little teeth and everything. So the plastic still needs to be hot enough that it flows all the way into the last little bit of the mold. So that's a bit the tricky part of making big things. But coaster should work because it's an easy big surface where it can spread pretty far. So yeah. That's great. What else? Oh, yeah, we wanted to talk about the perks as well. So the little goodies that the supporters are getting as a little thank you for supporting our campaign. We'll be starting to send out our ocean jewelry, like this one, and also the earrings that the goldsmith in Lüneburg has been doing. I think I have them here as well, because most of them are already ready to ship. Or maybe
sounds like an organized jewelry box.
It's a very organized jewelry box. Oh no, I put them into this very organized little case for the special jewelry.
Mine usually comes out in a ball.
So yeah, those ones. So these are little earrings with a little wave, and then they have a little In Mocean graving on top of it. So I think it's a bit much wearing both of them, but either you can choose one of them. So all of them got taken, so it seems that people like them. And we got those donated from the goldsmith Arthur Müller in my hometown Lüneburg. Thank you very much for that very generous donation. And yeah, we're going to start sending those out. And then we got the little, I actually have it here as well. The little got bag hip bags that we got donated as well. They are made from recycled ocean plastics, so there's some recycling going on with giving out those little bags as well, which is great. And then there's other goodies like collecting some plastic trash, and also making products and filming the machines. The collecting of the trash we can start sooner, but obviously the products and the machines will have to wait until we get the machines. But there is good news, because one of the machines is gonna arrive early in Panama in about 3 weeks if everything goes well. So that's the first machine being produced, and I'm gonna, because right now I am in Costa Rica. I'm back on my sailboat, not in my home office in Lüneburg anymore. And I will be doing some land travel to Panama in about a week or two. And then I'll pick up the very first In Mocean recycling extruder in Panama. And yeah, we'll give you a little sneak peek and show you the first products that come out of the machine. And it's going to be super exciting. And
that's great.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then we're going to slowly start the fulfillment of the perks, poco a poco.
Awesome.
So we have, do we have any questions from the few people that decided to join us today? Anything, or is there any questions from you fleet members possibly? Oh, I guess I could say that since like my sailboat that I have is in, as I said, is in Costa Rica, and it's called Carl. It's probably one of the smaller boats of the fleet with 37 feet. It's like half the size of Maria's Joanna.
He might be small, but he's mighty.
He's very mighty. He's made from aluminum, so he's very sturdy. He's my very sturdy fella out there on the ocean. I'm just doing a massive spring cleaning on the boat, so I'm taking everything out because at the moment I'm in the Marina Bahia Golfito. They are very kind to support In Mocean with a free stay in the marina because they wanted to support our recycling work that we're doing here on the Osa Peninsula. We have set up our first recycling workspace together with the Turtle Conservation Project Kaprad. And so the marina was really happy about the project, and they offered to support us with letting us stay in the marina for free, which is a massive help. Thank you. And
it's a great marina.
Yeah, in March I'm going to go back to the project, and we're going to put the whole project on solar because one of the people in the area is upgrading their home system, like the home solar system, and all of the old solar panels and inverters and everything are going to be donated to In Mocean. So very soon the recycling in the middle of the jungle will run 100% on solar, which will be a very cool project to do.
Awesome.
And we're going to film it and publish it so everybody can see it, and then hopefully some other projects that are recycling ocean plastic can learn a little bit from it, or get a little bit of an insight of what it would look like putting such a project on solar.
Cool.
Yeah,
it's one of the things, Nika, that a bit further down the line, once we get these machines and we do some working out how to use them and develop a few ideas on what to make and actually produce something, the next stage that we then go to villages or small towns, as it may be for us here in Western Australia, and to actually run a workshop. I mean, that for us will be quite a big step, to be first of all contacting media, getting the community involved, and then kind of setting up and make sure that people understand how this works, and then maybe getting a local sponsor to then buy some locals the machines and take it from there. That would be, I guess that is kind of ultimately what we're looking at here, isn't it? Where we can stimulate little micro economic things.
That's exactly what we're hoping that you will be able to do, and we'll obviously support you in this process. We'll be setting up a little booklet or like a presentation, where we give you a couple of hints and possibly guidelines that will help you in the communication, like with the workshop, with the setting up. Also, so if there's no one in the sometimes In Mocean might be in the vicinity, and we'll be able to help personally, or we can, you can transfer them to us for some further information, or we can connect also the people to the next local precious plastic dépendance. There's 1,500 precious plastic communities around the world. So wherever you are, sometimes there might be someone in the vicinity that could be able to help with delivering machines or helping with the setup. So we're trying to connect you or us with the whole global precious plastic movement to, have the best possible synergy effects of what's already existing. And from our work that we have been doing, we noticed that it's working best if you are going to a place where there's already some sort of existing organization that is doing some form of environmental work already in the area, and then they can integrate the plastic recycling into their existing project, because then you already have, you know, the legal framework where the project can be integrated, because otherwise it becomes very lots of work, and, you know, understanding the legal situation of the country, and, you know, having to set up like an organization that is new. So for us, we noticed it was better to get in contact with an existing organization.
It's a great call. I mean, it's kind of exciting. I mean, when you get that going and get that interaction at that local level, it'll be really interesting to see.
It'll take some time, but yeah, I'm sure you're gonna groove into it. And also, we're gonna we will the setup that we did on the Osa Peninsula with Coprat, we filmed that too. So we're gonna publish a video about that, so you also get a bit of an idea of what we did there. It was a pilot project, so there's still lots of things that need to improve, but, you know, with time, we will gain more experience and become more professional in what we're doing. So we're going to keep you updated on the process, and then you'll feed your experience to us, and the whole project will evolve, and we're getting better and better with each workspace that we're setting up. That's the idea.
Someone's just asked for the list of the people with the boats, Nika.
Oh yeah. Wait, I'll just put the link up from our website. So yeah, we're 8 people, or 8 sailboats in total. So we're the people that you're seeing here, which is the Cruising Kiwis and Odd Life Crafting, Saildrana, and White Spot Pirates. And today we're missing Delos and
Imagine a world.
Oops, sorry. We're missing Delos and Sailing Uma and Sailing Ron and Sailing Catalpa, and the list is here on our brand new, not so brand new website anymore, but 2-month-old website. It's difficult to get everybody on the same crowdcast because people are sailing, they don't have internet. Ron, for example, is crossing the Atlantic right now. They probably just started because they were in the Canary Islands, and they're shooting across the Atlantic right now. And, you know, sometimes sailors are without internet or they're sailing, so it's hard to get 8 sailboats at the same time, but at least half of the crew of the In Mocean Recycling Fleet is here.
True.
And we're also talking with Colin from Sailing Parley.
Yeah.
So he's very keen on joining. So Parley, yeah.
Okay.
He's very keen on joining, so we'll see if there is something that we can make happen, because he's a very enthusiastic beach cleaner, and he's very keen on the recycling ideas. So possibly we can work something out. Yeah, no, and it was really cool the way, like, he was willing to do the beach cleanup and just join the movement without, asking for anything. And his energy was really good, and he's friends with Duca and Roberta, so they recommended him and said that he was keen on possibly joining the fleet. So we'll see.
Yeah, I believe he's gonna be a really good addition to the team. We spent 15 days on his boat 2 months ago when we did quarantine to go to the Annapolis boat show, and he's just an awesome guy. We became family in like the first day. We never met him before, and I think he's a really nice guy that connects people.
Yeah.
And he has a big boat, so he has a big boat with space for the machines, and he knows how to connect people really well, and that means he can do like big cleanups when you connect. It's just like like some people are more like quiet, and he's like more like someone that knows how to talk to everyone, and is like, I don't know, seems like he connects to a lot of people, and I think it would be really cool for the project.
Yeah, it seems like it. And we were thinking that possibly because he's in Panama, and we know someone that can make the parts for the shredder, and we know where to get the engine and the bearing and stuff, and the reduction gearbox. So possibly we could do like a low cost project with him, because he's good with mechanical things too. So maybe we'll see how things go, but maybe then he can have a bigger shredder because he's got a big boat, and I saw that he has a lot of solos. So but we'll be talking with him in the
he has like
days.
32 kilowatts of solar.
Oh,
There's like 32 kilowatts of solar.
Jingos.
So it's like
30,
it can run anything.
3.2 or 32 kilowatts?
3.2.
3.2.
No,
Yeah.
3.2.
Yeah. It's like
3.2.
32 kilowatts. I was like,
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, 3,200. Yeah, 3,200. No.
Look at a
3,200
solar
watts.
farm.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
He
still, like
chose it.
3,200
like
for me, 3,200
It's
is like a dream. It's just way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have like
Yeah, that's crazy.
not
That
even
is a
half.
lot.
We don't have even half of that.
No, me neither. But yeah, that's really cool. And he is right now in Cunayala, I think. So when I'm up in Panama, I think they'll be crossing the canal. So possibly we can meet up in person and have a little chat and see what's possible.
Sweet.
Yeah. Sweet. Anything else? Is there anyone that has any questions?
I think there was a question. My question thing disappeared. Does anybody have the question thing? I saw somebody had asked something about the plastic. I don't know where.
Oh yeah, how much of it is actually usable
yeah,
if you collect the beach cleanup?
Yeah.
Yes, I missed that one. So that really depends on the area where you're cleaning up and what's happening, and whether it's washed up from the ocean or if it's domestic waste. It's difficult to give like a general idea. Like where we've cleaned most is along the coast of Panama, and actually a lot of that is HDPE, which is number 2 plastic, which is perfect for us to recycle. What we can't recycle is PET, which Duca and Roberta will be able to recycle PET. But yeah, you find a lot of PET bottles. But the good thing about the PET bottles is that usually there is industrial recycling facilities that you could potentially ship those to. So even if we can't recycle them ourselves, those are usually taken from industrial recyclers, as long as they're clean, free of sand and residuals. So yeah, it really depends on the area that you're in. But we try to, whatever can't be recycled, to move it to a place where it can be taken care of. But it's still a long journey to, like, the idea with the workspaces that we were creating on land is that the money that the project is making will be refed into creating like a general infrastructure for all the trash that can't be recycled by the machines. So it can be transported to the next recycling facility, or a facility where it's properly burnt for creating heat energy or something.
Nika,
so here's another
we
question.
had, when we announced the campaign, we had one person put quite a negatively toned comment, but actually the kind of theme of what the person was saying is probably valid, and they were basically accusing us of potentially poisoning remote communities when processing the plastic, especially from the extruder. And and they were called shame on you and shame on, as if we hadn't even thought about it. But of course, it's an issue that I'm sure you've thought about. And obviously, when we are dealing with and communicating with and promoting these tools, clearly we're not going to be wanting them to get poisoned along the way.
So there is on the Precious Plastic website, there is a video about the whole topic of fumes and like toxic fumes that are happening with the whole recycling process. So the plastic that we recycle is, the numbers are, somebody asked that here as well, so I'm going to answer that question at the same time. Somebody answered what numbers can be recycled. So we are recycling with our machines. We can recycle number 2, number 4, and number 5. So that's polyethylene, high and low density, and polypropylene. That's number 5. Other plastics can also be recycled, but not actually. The machines also take PET, but it's very tricky, and we don't have good experience with it yet. And also PET is more dangerous when it comes to fumes. So the good thing about the polyethylene and the polypropylene is that there are the ones that are that have the least toxic fumes when they're being processed, and the toxic fumes only happen when you burn the plastic, not when you melt it. So the melting process is fairly safe health-wise, but it's recommended to only work in open ventilated areas. If you work inside, then you need like a little, like a vent that sucks out the whatever comes off, because we're working with the ocean plastic as well, so it's been out there, and we have to clean it manually. So there is there is the danger that some residuals might be inside some of the containers. So it's best to work ventilated areas and wear a mask, that for sure. Yeah. But I mean, this is a process that's happening all over the world, and people have done some research on it. And we're not poisoning the poor.
We're mostly using thermoplastics instead of thermoset plastics. Thermoset plastics are the ones that have a tendency to be of the unhealthy version of things.
Yeah,
because they burn
like
the oil.
PVC, for example, is very, very toxic. PVC is a thermoset, and if you work with that, then it has it's like chlorine something, like it's a very toxic fume that it produces. But we're not doing that.
Wow, you guys, this I have to turn you around this morning. It's the most amazing thing. This, you can see it. It might be too bright, but those are the mountains of Mexico, and they're just being lit up by that sun. It's insane. The sunrise.
Wow, that's really pretty. Nice. Beautiful.
Would you like to see a midnight
anything else?
It's beautiful out here too. If you have night vision.
Night vision, yeah.
I can't show you, unfortunately. I'm in work mode here, so I can't show you around.
I can give you a little. You can see the bridge here if you like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Big.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Give you the machinery.
Jingos. That's huge.
Wow.
Just like our nav station.
All right. It just reminds us. We watched the movie Last Breath a couple of nights ago.
Yeah.
And that bridge looks like the bridge that was on that boat that's holding the boat in control. If you've seen it, it's good, amazing story.
It's definitely an intimidating bridge. In it's an old military ship, so the Navy ship. So it's put out the same way. I was hoping that you could see down below. I'm not sure if you can. So down there, that's all the science equipment that's coming on board. And so those are high dollar equipment there. Probably a couple $1 million. I find in science. Way too much money.
That's insane.
I know. But at least they're getting to figure out what awesome. They can how to save the ocean. So it's nice to see it on the other side of things.
Yeah, it's great that you have access to all of this. You need to sneak as much information off them as you can.
That's the hope.
Cool.
Get the science side of things.
Awesome. Well, okay. So anyone else? We're running now into the end of this hour. So I guess that was some decent talking for everybody. Anything that anybody wants to be sharing or asking, or everybody happy?
I think it's fantastic. I can't wait to get
is that on your end?
Yeah, that's the ship's bell.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait either. It's gonna be exciting. I think they're building the frame right now, the aluminum frame, and then they're gonna paint it and assemble it and then send it off.
Woohoo! Exciting!
It's gonna be super cool. So we got to think about what is the very first product that we're gonna make with the extruder. Gotta figure it out.
It shouldn't be too hard once you have it in hand.
All right. Yeah, that's true. I'm just gonna check if there's anything here on my list that I forgot to mention. But we had there's two people that they got the perk of getting invited on stage in this crowdcast, which was Reinhard, Scott, and Heather. But are you there, Reinhard, Scott, or Heather? Because then you would be able to come on stage. That is what your perk was. But I don't think I see any Reinhard or Heather or Scott here in our list of attendees. Not that I know. No. So that didn't happen. But apart from that, if no one has any more questions, then I guess I'd say good night, good evening, good day, good morning to everybody. Thanks for joining. For those that were here, thank you for your time, fleet members. And
thank you so much.
let's talk recycling soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
Thank you to all the supporters who came
Yes,
on board.
thanks.
Thanks to
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Yes, exactly. Thanks for making this happen.
Thanks so much.
Lots of ocean love.
Keep in touch.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Where is it?